Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Principals Podcast. So this is the 11th podcast that I've been able to do, and it focuses on proposed changes to the school day, starting in September. Before we start, we reinforce our care values. So at Ormiston and Ilkeston Enterprise Academy, we care. We show courage, we're really ambitious, we're respectful at all times, and we strive for excellence. That is who we are, that is what we want to do, that is how we act, it's how we behave. But what underpins those values and what drives our decisions as a school and as a leadership team and as a principal are what we call our three strategic anchors. So everything I do, every thought that I have has to feed into one of these areas and improve it. And if the answer is no, it does not improve one of these areas, then that idea, that concept is not taken forward. So the three strategic anchors we work towards, the first one is culture and climate, making sure that this school is the best place it can be for a student attending school or for a member of staff that works here. The second one is leadership and development, making sure that everybody improves regardless of starting point, again, student or staff. And the third one, which this proposal certainly links to, is entitlement and delivery. What do we offer our young people? What do we offer our staff? And is it what they deserve? Is it what they are entitled to? And if not, what do we need to do to add to our provision to fulfill that entitlement? What happens at the best schools in the country and why is it not happening here? Because if it's happening at the best schools in the country, then our kids deserve it too. So those three strategic anchors feed into everything that we do, and they've certainly fed into this proposal. So we are proposing that we slightly play with the school day and the school structure and some of the timings. In essence, and I'm trying to keep this as brief as I can, it comes in three main parts. The first part is a school day will finish 10 minutes later and end. So start 10 minutes later and end 10 minutes later. And this is for a variety of reasons, which I'll go on to, but that would mean that the school day finishes at 15:10. The second part is we're going to add an additional 25 minutes to the school day on a Wednesday and Thursday, which would make a 15:35 finish. And the third aspect of the proposal is an early finish on a Friday to compensate for the additional time on a Wednesday and Thursday. What I'll now do is sort of briefly explain each of those key parts. The first one, later start time. We currently start later than all of the other schools, and it does create some issues when traffic's not great, when the weather isn't great, public transport issues. So the natural timing of some of the public transport lends itself to a slightly later start. So yeah, our proposal is we start at 7:50 instead of 8:30. Students will need to be through the gate on site by 7:25. It's only a small change, but it is one that I would like your feedback on. So I know that teenagers like sleep, and whilst that's not the primary purpose, a later start obviously helps. And it is our hope that this reduces lateness, and too much lateness impacts on learning behaviour. And so we think this is a sensible thing to do just to help some of our families out that do struggle and try and reduce the number of students that are late, which isn't a huge number by any stretch of the imagination. But after checking out the timetables of the other local schools, we certainly do start earlier. So I think it's just a small thing we can do to try and help. The second part is an extended school day on a Wednesday and Thursday only, which would lead to a 15:35 finish. We would rejig the school day on a Wednesday and Thursday and to create a period 6. One of those period 6s would just be a normal lesson, but the period 6 on a Thursday would be a designated enrichment session. So enrichment at the moment, we've got some clubs that run after school, and students, if they want to do them, can stay behind. But obviously, because it's after school and it goes on till like 4 o'clock, 4:05, uptake isn't as high as it could. So what we want to do is we want to do something pretty transformative, and we want to be one of the few schools in the whole country that guarantees that every single one of our young people engages in at least one session of enrichment. Enrichment can be arts and crafts, it can be sport, it can be charity-based work, it can be exercise, it can be playing chess, it can be reading, it's whatever students are interested in, and we want to really offer a comprehensive enrichment program, and let students choose what they want to do. Like I say, we are really excited about this, and we think this is going to be one of the unique selling points of the school, and it's something that does not happen often across the country. So that would result in a late start on a Wednesday and a Thursday, a late finish on a Wednesday and a Thursday. And finally, we've got part 3, which is the early finish on a Friday. So I've never met a student that wants to spend more time at school. So to compensate for the later finish on a Wednesday and Thursday, we're proposing we finish early on a Friday. So at 2:15, which means they don't have their final period. However, the thing that makes this slightly different is it's not a right, it's not a privilege, it would have to be earned. So those students, the vast majority of our students who are incredible all the time, they've got great attendance, they've got great behaviour, they do all of their homework, which is most of our students. They get the reward of leaving early at the end of the week and spending a bit more time with their friends and spending a bit more time with their family because they've done the work earlier on in the week. Students that don't have great attendance, that are struggling, that don't have great behaviour, would have to stay and utilise that time to catch up with the work that they've missed, because we care about their academic performance and we need to make sure they're caught up, as to ensure that whatever absence they have had doesn't have a long-term impact. What this also does is it allows us to manipulate the school day on a Friday so we can focus more on staff improvement and staff continued professional development, because we want our staff and our teachers to be as strong as they can be, because that means students are going to learn more and they're going to achieve stronger outcomes. So in essence, those are the 3 parts. As our most valued and important partner, we absolutely need your feedback. So please respond via the forms link, which will be shared with the accompanying letter. Share your thoughts within the next week, and I'll provide an update ASAP. So obviously, I'm conscious that as principal, I'm not going to please everybody all of the time, and I dearly wish I could, but it's important, therefore, that I do get feedback from everyone and everyone has an opportunity to provide feedback. I understand that the vast majority of parents will see what we're trying to do and see it as a good thing. But I'm also acutely aware that this might directly impact some families in terms of childcare and collecting siblings from primary schools. But that's why we're sharing it now ahead of September, so families have time to adapt and change. And obviously, the last thing I want to do is have any kind of negative impact on our families. But my first obligation is to make sure that our school offers as strong as it can be. And I'm sure that everyone can understand that. So please leave your feedback. Really, really looking forward to reading it. And hopefully you can see what we're trying to do. So thank you very much. And I look forward to talking to you soon.